"What fresh hellscape have I just moved into?" were the first words out of my mouth when I arrived at my new home in Washington. Prior to moving here from Florida, the Sunshine State, I had only been to Washington one time for 3 days at the end of summer when it was absolutely beautiful. So I did not have the most accurate idea of what I was getting myself into. So when I arrived in November at 4 p.m. in total darkness and pouring rain, I turned to my best friend and I said, "What fresh hellscape have I just moved into?" Now, 2 days later, the sun came out, the rain stopped, I could see Mount Rainier from my balcony, and I was like, okay, I think I can live here. Of course, this was only the first of many surprises, so here are 10 things that I wish I knew before moving to Washington from Florida. Staying with the surprise darkness theme, I truly thought that I was losing my eyesight when I moved here because I could not see the roads at night. I started to wonder if I had just been driving by faith and not by sight this whole time in Florida. Could I actually see at night, or was I just driving home by muscle memory? It was very concerning. Turns out that for whatever reason, Washington thought it was a good idea to reduce the streetlights. So it's not that I was going blind, it's just literally darker here. Combine that with the rain and, it gets a little bit dicey. So it doesn't really snow where I live. I live in Sumner. It is this super cute little town between Seattle and Tacoma. It's got great schools. It is a really easy commute to pretty much anywhere in the Puget Sound area. It's got great views of Mount Rainier. And it's way more affordable than living in Seattle. So while we don't get a lot of snow, the roads do get icy in the winter. And we do not salt the roads because we really care about the environment here. So when it does snow, just like in Florida, where people suddenly don't know how to drive when it starts raining, people don't know how to drive in the snow, and it does not get cleared in a timely manner. Now, you could say, I am one of those people who does not know how to drive in the snow because I grew up somewhere where it does not snow, but I would disagree because I have safely driven through a blizzard. And the reason the random man from Spokane had to come and rescue me and drive my car out of the intersection when it was snowing was not because I don't know how to drive in the snow. It is because I don't or didn't know what my anti-lock brakes sound like, and I thought my car was broken. It's not, and now I know. People always say they could never live in Florida because, hurricanes. But you know what we don't have in Florida? Tsunamis, earthquakes, active volcanoes. Right before I moved here, my nephew started reading this book about volcanoes, and he got really concerned that I was going to be living by a volcano. And so I told him, I was like, don't worry, that volcano, Mount Rainier, is dormant. So it's not gonna explode like Mount St. Helens. I'm gonna be fine. Little did I know, that was a lie. Mount Rainier is very much an active volcano. In fact, we have lahar drills the first Monday of every month. A lahar drill is our tsunami and earthquake warning system.
There's a volcano right there that may blow at any moment.
It sounds like the Purge. I still don't know where I'm supposed to go or what I'm supposed to do when that happens, like if for real. I should probably figure that out. I don't know if you are aware, but coffee is kind of a big deal here. Like, people are obsessed. There is a coffee stand on every corner. Yes, you heard me right, a coffee stand. We don't have those in Florida. If you want to do like a drive-through coffee situation, you have to go to McDonald's. And who wants McDonald's coffee? I have significantly increased my coffee intake since moving here, partially because when you have not seen the sun in 5 days, you just need something to make you feel alive, and partially because it's just super convenient and it's really good. Plus, it's also a great way to support a local business. We also have bikini coffee stands, which would probably make more sense in Florida, but however you want to start your morning. The other thing that people in the PNW are obsessed with is Sasquatch. He is everywhere. He's on signs and businesses. He's part of everyone's branding. There's even a Sasquatch festival called Squatch Fest in Longview every year where they celebrate all things Bigfoot. Apparently, Washington is the best place for Sasquatch sightings. I have met multiple people who have said they have seen him or had interactions. One guy said that his son has interacted with him often. I was not aware that this was such a common thing here. Maybe it's because Florida doesn't really have cryptids, so it hasn't been like part of my everyday life. But we do have Florida man, so I did not realize what an impact living in a cave of darkness for 6 months would have on my sensitivity to light until I went back to Florida and I was blinded by the light. I had to wear sunglasses the entire time I was there, and it was April. I usually would only wear sunglasses in the summer, so it was super weird for me. And also made me a little bit sad. I felt like I wasn't a Florida girl anymore. I also didn't realize how much I needed the sun to feel energized. The first month here was rough. I felt so tired and draggy all the time. It was super weird going to work before the sun came up and then coming home after the sun went down. I was just living in darkness all the time. I would look out the window for like a little piece of blue sky, and that would kind of help, but it really wasn't enough. So I finally decided to stop being stubborn and get myself one of those little like happy lamps, which this is my happy lamp. And you turn it on, it has light that shines into your eyes, and it feels like the sun. And it really does help. So I just turn it on every morning, and I'll do like my journaling or I'll get ready. And it really gave me a lot more energy. It made me feel alive again. And also taking vitamin D every day really helps. But only getting 8 hours of daylight during the winter was weird to me. But for some reason, I did not think about what this would mean for the summer. Because in Florida is close to the equator. So our daytime hours are relatively the same throughout the year. Our summer days, the sun comes up at like 6:30 and it goes down at like 8. Normal hours. I thought Washington would be the same. It is not. The sun comes up at 4 a.m. and it goes down at like 10 p.m. and it is awesome. I absolutely love the summers here. It more than makes up for all the darkness the rest of the year. Now, the one thing that I don't love about Washington in the summer is the lack of air conditioning. I am from Florida. We need air conditioning. We cannot live without air conditioning. It is a foreign concept to us. Some homes even have 2 air conditioning units. Central AC is like a basic necessity of life for us. Not here in Washington. And I really struggled to believe people when they said, you don't really need it. It's like, how is this possible? But what you can do is you can get a portable air conditioning unit, which I did. And I had an adventure trying to put that together. I think I got the wrong air conditioner. This does not fit. Don't really know what to do at this point. So do better than I did with that. But I only used it for like 2 weeks. The rest of the time, I just kind of like, I had the windows open, I lived like I was at the beach, and it was really comfortable. I was surprised that I could live without air conditioning. I can't believe I'm gonna say this. You really don't need it here. I heard a lot about the Seattle freeze before moving here and knew that I was coming to a place that was opposite in pretty much every way from the state that I grew up in. So I had no idea what kind of culture shock there would be, if I would make friends, or how long it would take to make friends, or if Washington would ever feel like home when all of my immediate family is in Florida. I was definitely nervous, but I was also really excited because it was a new adventure. So the last thing that I wish I knew before moving to Washington from Florida is that no matter where you go, people are pretty much the same. You're not gonna get along with everyone, and not everyone is going to like you, and that's okay. I was very fortunate to find an amazing church with incredible people very shortly after I moved here, and they just completely welcomed me in with open arms. I have never once felt alone or a lack of community here. So is there a Seattle freeze? I don't know. I think it's just a matter of finding your people. But this does require talking to people and putting yourself out there. You can't just sit at home wondering why you don't have friends. You have to go outside. You have to find them. They are out there. But just make sure it's not a cult, because there are a lot of cults here in Washington, apparently. So I guess that's 11 things that I wish I knew before moving to Washington. The Evergreen State is a truly unique and beautiful place to live. My name's Rebecca Daniels. I am a local real estate broker and a relocation specialist. If you're thinking about moving to Washington and have questions, I am happy to help and answer anything that I can. Until next time, make it a great day.